Yo, what up, YouTube? It's Rob Monty here with today's wrestling news. Just to start off with what we got going today, Bully Ray reacts to the low Raw ratings. What else we got? More Jordan Miles on his meltdown and departure. I think we did that yesterday, but I guess it came up on the news today. I guess I don't know. Basically, what else we got? MLW news here with another distribution deal that they're making. Top stars that were absent from last night's Dynamite. Reports of Karrion Kross having high hopes from WWE. So let's get into today's news. We're going to start off with the big news article I'm starting off with, which will be Karrion Kross. Rick, man, I don't know what's going on with my editor. It seems like I'm trying to grab the window. I got the window capture. Shit, okay, now what about my... Alright, there we go. Again, these technical difficulties, guys. So we're going to start off with the report on Karrion Kross, which WWE has high hopes for. As of last night, we saw him defeat Leon Ruff in such a big squash match. But there's huge hopes for him to be getting over. As what we are seeing here right now is that the WWE officials have liked Kross for a while. According to WrestleVotes, it also noted that WWE has high hopes for the former Impact Wrestling star. If you recall back in December, it was noted that WWE's interest level in Kross was significantly high, and WWE was pursuing Kross harder than they usually pursue other free agents. You know what? You want my honest opinion? The guy has a personality. He got a smoking, banging girlfriend apparently, which works just fine for her in on the show. I mean, I really enjoy seeing these two together, and I think if you guys look in their Instagram, they're a really cute couple. I really admit to that. Also, here's the thing about Karrion Kross. For most people who don't know Killer Kross that well, one, the guy can wrestle. He can wrestle very, very good. Number two, he has the look of a wrestler. He looks like a star, for crying out loud. I mean, it's so much of a sticking out. It's like when you look at it in a battle royal and you see a giant. When I look at all the different talents out there in the world right now, I think Karrion Kross is one of those guys that you look at and you believe that's a star. So what I'm saying is this might be the next big star in WWE, and I'm just hoping for big things out of this. And because I'm a fan of Killer Kross myself, I'm also a fan of Scarlett Bordeaux, and I think nobody can deny being a fan of Scarlett Bordeaux. So I really think these guys are going to be doing great things in WWE. I have no doubt in that. All right. Let's see, what else? Oh, and one more thing, guys. What did I think of him back in Impact? I thought the whole thing with him, Austin Aries, and Moose was just fucking awesome back in Impact, and it's because, for one, they basically trolled the entire Impact roster, and they made Johnny Nitro look like a bitch. I mean, so for him to be on NXT, I say this: we were already fans of Ciampa and Gargano, and Velveteen and Adam Cole. Add this guy to the list, he would do good. Also, I think Moose would do great in WWE, to be honest. But that's just my honest opinion. So, what's your guys' opinion on Karrion Kross? You know? I would like to hear it. Leave it in the comment, you know? Alright, so top stars from AEW were absent last night, which was 3 members of the Elite. And that was Hangman Page and the Young Bucks, who are staying at home at the moment due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And, you know what? That's probably one of the stuff that people have to take, the measures that you have to take during this pandemic going on. I mean, if you're working and you got essential work, I mean, maybe it's good that you stay home once in a while. And for wrestling talent, I think they only need a certain group of guys, and they can always ask anybody to be in the audience if they want, which AEW has been doing. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, this might have been a good move for both of them, and especially when watching Being the Elite not too long ago. I saw Matt Jackson coughing a lot, so it kind of makes me a little worried for the Young Bucks on that one. So, yeah, I think that maybe that's a good thing. Doesn't mean they're not working. That's obviously. They're probably working with Kenny, Cody, and all of them backstage via computer, Zoom, whatever you want to call it, And then, as you guys know, last night's show, which was an awesome show between the Elite, which was Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy, taking on Jericho and Sammy Guevara, and it was a very great street fight. My favorite match of the part of the night was when Matt Hardy transformed into all three different forms of Matt Hardy, I mean, he went from WWE Matt to Broken Matt to Grecian Matt, I mean, it was just so many translations of Matt Hardy, and it was just, wow. And then on top of that, they drove that golf cart like no tomorrow just to chase down Sammy Guevara, which was a hell of a feature, You know what? I think that's one thing they got to do because of this COVID-19 pandemic, and they are, they're using it, to their advantage. And basically, while these guys were off TV yesterday, Jim Ross had stated on his broadcast saying, "We miss the Young Bucks. We're observing this COVID situation. The family and a newborn, of course, folks, are asking, where is Kenny's partner, Hangman Page? Same story, COVID virus, social distancing." It's basically a fair and honest, truthful, just being truthful and letting us know why they're not there. I question Tessa, in my opinion, but what can you do, right? Okay, Fox Sports 1 is set to air WrestleMania 3 Recall next week, and CM Punk will be on Backstage as announced earlier this week. He will be back on Backstage next week, so you guys gonna check him out, and with Renee Young and a lot of the legends that are on Backstage. I think it's gonna be a fun show. I can't wait to see what Punk has to say. That's just me being a wrestling fan. I know people are not too happy with Punk being on Backstage because they would rather see him in the ring, but what can you do about it, right? And then as far as the WrestleMania 3 Rewind and Recall, it will be broadcasting next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1, and it will go into Backstage. So I want to know if they're going to be doing something about WrestleMania 3 on Backstage, just a recall or rewind, see what's going on with that, And then for MLW news, for all those fans who are wondering more, as you guys know, in the last week or so, I've been covering a lot of MLW news, especially because they have gotten new deals, long distribution deals, global distribution deals. Now they have announced a distribution deal with Fight. So if you have the Fight app to stream, they will be streaming Major League Wrestling's events on pay-per-view. So there will be marquee events for MLW that they're going to be streaming. So the first ones that they're going to be doing, which will be featured this month, are going to be May 7th, Saturday Night Super Fight, Battle Riot 2, and Opera Cup 2019. So you guys got the Fight app? Good chance to check them out, Oh, man. And let's see. What else we got here on here? So basically, as you guys know, if you guys don't know MLW, I know there's a lot of you guys who do, but a lot of the talent that are in MLW right now are the Von Erichs, Ross, and Marshall. You got Filthy Tom Lawler, Contra Unit, The Dynasty, Low Key, L.A. Park, Teddy Hart, I believe Brian Pillman Jr., Alicia Atto, Davey Boy Smith Jr., Injustice, and one of my favorite guys, Jacob Fatu. So, you guys haven't watched MLW before? Check it out. And if it's on the Fight app, I mean, and you got a subscription to Fight, fuck, I would watch some of these matches. I mean, it's going to be some great shit, you know, to watch. And now A&E will also air a new memorabilia series for the WWE. When I read this, I'm like thinking to myself, they're going to show all the different memorabilia that people have gotten. So, let's see. What does it say here? Alright. New York. What's it? Da, 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 da. So, the network is also expanding its partnership with WWE Studios for the new series Quest of Lost Treasures, which joins previously announced greenlight of 5 biography specials showcasing legends such as Macho Man Randy Savage, Hot Rod Roddy Piper, Booker T, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Shawn Michaels. Annie has always been the forefront of bringing in new non-fiction formats of television. All right, so guys, with my thoughts on A&E to air these new memorabilia series, I'm gonna say this much. I would check it out. I mean, A&E has been one of the best as far as documentaries go. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's crime drama, Pawn Stars, or something like that. You know, it doesn't matter because growing up, I used to watch a lot of these documentaries. They did one on Tupac and Biggie, Mike Tyson, I believe they did one. Muhammad Ali, they made a very great one that was beautiful back in the day. They were the first ones to air a documentary on Andre the Giant. They were also the first ones to air Wrestling with Shadows and gave us some great documentaries of Undertaker back in the day. So, yeah, with this new series, I wouldn't mind checking it out. I mean, if you guys like A&E, there's a lot of cool shit happening on A&E too. You gotta remember. One of the things I think a lot of people will laugh at me for saying is Storage Wars, but Storage Wars is pretty freaking fun to watch, just to see all kind of shenanigans these guys do to buy lockers. Anyway, A&E, WWE partnering up for a memorabilia series. They've already announced Booker T, Macho Man, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels. I mean, you can't go wrong with that kind of series, guys. And it's going to be Lost Treasures as well. Now you're going to talk about Roddy Piper, and to me, that just interests me a lot more, because the ones that interest me I think all 5 of these interest me, because these are 5 of my favorites superstars of all time. And as far as Piper goes, I mean, Piper is probably the most interesting of them all. So we'll see how that goes, you know. All right. Now I mentioned Jordan Miles, ACH, and he's commenting on his meltdown following his WWE departure and mental health issues. This guy does not know when he can't stop. But this is about how he is actually reacting to his meltdown. So his public reaction, he goes and says, "I always do my best to be a positive person. And I always try to be a good person. And man, being attacked by people you don't know, coming from all angles, all cities, states, countries, telling you you're wrong. It's like, fuck, dude. It broke me. It really rocked me to my core. And I'll be honest, I wish I could have did things differently. I wish I would have just turned my phone off and just kind of let things die down. But being so in the moment and angry and feeling like no one is listening to you, I felt like I was trying to tell everybody something, my side, or like trying to be heard, and I was just constantly being ignored. So I would pick up my phone and say, "You're not listening," and I would just start texting and going off, and this guy blah blah blah. And I remember sitting back and thinking, man, this is not me. But I was so angry, and I felt like I was not being heard. I was constantly being attacked. In my honest opinion, with this, his public reaction to the public, you know what? I feel you. I understand what you're saying, Jordan, on this, but you went off hell like crazy, and I think at least I can explain my whole situation if I got it in your face about this, being angry. I just gotta be honest, guys. I did not understand why this was becoming a problem over a stupid T-shirt. I mean, every T-shirt's black in wrestling, for crying out loud. Majority of T-shirts are in fact black. You can look at Young Bucks, you can look at Kenny's, you can look at Austin's, you can look at Punk's. Well, Punk's was white when he got popular. Cena's had black shirts. Triple H has had plenty of black shirts. And then on top of that, when I look at the logo, I don't see blackface. So that's why it kind of confused me that he was getting upset over a stupid T-shirt. I mean, a T-shirt's a T-shirt, goddammit, And I know it's about the principle, but the problem with Jordan Miles that really irked me is like I did not know where you were truly coming from. I don't know if you were trying to make a statement and stand up for something because you trying to make yourself look self-righteous, or you're just really upset. And I'm glad that he explained his reaction because I can understand now. It's just this whole thing really has hurt this guy to a point where he melted down and started freaking going off on everybody. And I think I accept responsibility for my part in it, but I mean, it was hard to like read him. That's why, for one, and quite honestly, and he just, you guys, I'm gonna say this right now, and that is that people who get pissed off and react to everything pissed off, they could say things better, and they know they can say things better, but at the end of the day, we end up going off and doing stupid shit, and that's exactly what came out of this. And I think a lot of people were pissed off. It wasn't just pissed off at Jordan Miles. They were pissed off at the shirt. They were pissed off at WWE. They were pissed off about fans getting at fans. And, you know what? I'm glad that he's taking responsibility for his meltdown. And I think a lot of us who have attacked Jordan Miles, we should take responsibility for our shit and just say, hey, Jordan, I'm sorry we didn't hear you out well. I wish we could have talked this thing over and see where you're coming from back then. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. That's what all it was because guys, for me, when I reacted, it was because there's so many people saying shit just to get famous and shit, and I figured that was what was going on with this. Because he started saying the terms, this is one for the culture. I'm like, for the culture? You sure it's not just you being pissed off because of a stupid T-shirt versus you doing it for the culture? I mean, that to me is like, don't try and call it Kaepernick to this. That's all I'm saying. And that's what pissed me off about it, because that's how I felt about it. Because it's like, are you trying to be self-righteous or are you actually pissed off? And he's actually come out now and explaining that he was just really, really pissed. Can't blame him though. I mean, I can't blame him. I mean, this offends what he believes in, his morals. It's really, really, it would fuck with a person, It just would. And then on top of that, I'm going to say this, the internet, I know where there's a lot of wrestling fans out there, a lot of us say shit that just fucks with people, and I think we all gotta be more positive and be more careful to what we say nowadays. Because you don't know if we're bringing death onto somebody's life, and you know what? I take responsibility for my actions on this. I'm done with this, so, let bygones be bygones. And now, this is what he also said, too. He did not want to use mental issues as an explanation. And I'm nobody does. I mean, it's hard to explain something when you're getting pissed off and when you're going off crazy around people guys, when you get crazy and get pissed off with people, it's hard to really say what you're really feeling, you know, and it makes it hard to get your message fully out there. And then there's also the fact that it fucks with you when people take what you said and turn it into something else. That's basically why he was having such a hard time. And like he said, he was being constantly attacked after the whole thing happened. So, okay. And this is what he says. I feel like I had people trying to tell me to use like mental issues as not as an excuse, but say that's the thing. Your anxiety, your depression, you're depressed, right? That's why you're outlashing to help smooth things over. And it's like, man, I'm not one of those people. I don't come up with excuses for myself. I was angry. I mean, what was I going to say? I was angry. I'm not going to go out and be like, sorry, guys, like mental health issues, because people deal with that stuff in serious ways. People like that, it's a serious issue. People like, that's a serious issue. I'm not going to publicly say things like to help smooth things over. That's just not the type of person I am. And I had a real life situation. I had a freaking meltdown in front of the entire world. That's really what happened. I had a meltdown. I broke down in front of the world. The only thing is people didn't see me cry. Yeah, like I said, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. You know, trying to be understanding and trying to be a normal human being, a decent human being, to just, you know, show humility and, you know, see what's going on. To show a little hot to Jordan Miles on this, it's okay, man. You know, I mean, it's okay to be angry. As far as having a meltdown and being pissed off with the world, hey, that's what happened when you had the meltdown. Everybody got pissed in different ways you would never expect. So I can understand why it would make it very, very hard on you. It's not going to be depression. It's not going to be mental issues or anxiety. It's just you're pissed off with the world, right? And you're just going off on everything and everything going. You're trying to get heard and ask for help from somebody, and nobody's giving yourself help because they want to look at it as their situation kind of thing. In this case, where he says people didn't see him cry, I'm gonna beg to differ. People did see you cry. People saw you cry because you got pissed off and you started going off. When people have a meltdown, that's when they start to cry. I mean, if you guys didn't, I'll give you a good example. I mean, this was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for one, where Will gets upset with the fact that his father was going to walk out on him again. Right there, he starts to play it cool, but you know he's mad. He gets super mad and basically tells him, he's no good piece of shit kind of thing going on, right? Yeah. And then at the end, he's like, why does he want me? Because deep down, not only is he pissed, he's hurt. And when he's going off on his old man there, he's crying. It's a cry. It's not anger. It's a cry. And I think in Jordan Miles' situation, it started off with being angry because of the T-shirt, but then everything that came in, the backlash that came in on this, guys, led him to just start going off, being pissed off, and just melting down and crying in front of the world now. Like I said on yesterday's episode, I believe he should go and talk to WWE, and him and WWE should work it out and, you know, make amends with each other. Both have to apologize. One, he has to apologize for making them look bad because of how bad he was upset with them, and they should apologize to him for offending him as a person and morally, ethically. That's what I'm saying. They need to go and just talk it out. That's what I think that needs to be done. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's what I think he needs to do. Other than that, I wish him the best, you know. I hope he can get back on his feet and, you know, do good things in life, you know, and continue to be that positive person that he said he always tries to be. So, you know what? man, get well, man. Get well. That's all I say. And get back on your feet. Get back up. Fall down, get back up. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. All right, next. Kobe Covington, if WWE would sanction matches with him and Drew McIntyre. For those of you who don't know who Kobe Covington is, he's a UFC star and he's expressed interest in wrestling in the WWE and has called out Drew McIntyre. And now he's going on freaking on blast here. And he's basically calling out Drew McIntyre. And he thinks this would be a perfect David Goliath match. I'm like, well, in my opinion, guys, when it comes to fights, anyone can win a fight and anyone can lose a fight on any given day. That's how I was taught in judo and wrestling, is that anyone can be beaten on any given day. I'm not going to say Drew McIntyre won't kick this guy's ass, but I'm not going to say this guy can't kick Drew McIntyre's ass. But honestly, I think that's just the UFC star talking big shit. You know, I'm going to tell you this much. A lot of these MMA stars these days, they just go on TV or on a podcast or an interview, and they just go off. And they don't care what they're saying, but they're trying to promote themselves. They're doing the promo, so they sound like they're a tough guy. In my opinion, if you want to know what a real tough guy is, guys, it's somebody who is generally a nice guy and don't even cause shit with people. Doesn't cause shit with people, but when people cause shit get real. If you want to tell me the only real badass in the martial arts and fighting world right now in this day and age, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you straight up, it's Haku. Don't piss Haku off. I mean, if any UFC superstar wants a challenge, and get themselves into a real fight, challenge Haku. And I'll tell you what, if you live, I'll give it to you. I'll give you the golf clap. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about with Haku, for the wrestling fans out there that know the long line story of Haku, everybody will tell you Haku is a killing machine, and he's one of the nicest people on earth. And he won't fuck you up unless you deserve it. So, yeah. And I will give you guys another one. For the guys at Well Culture will even tell you. Simon Miller, remember he pissed off Haku off so bad that Haku chased them, even knowing what them and Tama Tonga was a work, you know? He said it. Like, Haku was legitimately pissed. And I'm going to say this. If you really want to challenge a tough guy, I would challenge the champion. I would challenge the guy who everybody knows would kick their ass. And Haku's one of those guys. I'm sorry. But as far as Kobe Covington going out there, I'm like, dude, you're sounding stupid because you want to fight a professional wrestler. So, and basically this is what he says. Let me make something clear. I say fight him because I originally expressed my interest to come over to WWE and pro wrestling to wrestle him. But he threw that out the window. He didn't want a wrestling match. He wants a fight. So I don't know if the WWE is going to want that blood on their hands, and don't know if they're going to want to sanction this. If they don't want to sanction it, let's go do this in his home country, Europe or Saudi Arabia. Let's go and get this fight going, man. Like I said, guys, this is a UFC fighter talking shit. And here's the thing. If you're really a tough fighter, why the fuck do you need to talk shit? And here's another thing. If you are a UFC star that thinks wrestling's fake, if you think that for real, why the fuck are you even trying to cause a fight with a fucking WWE superstar? And let alone a guy twice your size. When I look at this, I just think the guy's just being stupid. And I'm going to say this. A lot of MMA guys, they tend to be stupid a lot of times. I mean, look at Conor McGregor. He thought he could actually beat Money Mayweather in a boxing match. And what happened? He got his ass whooped. Just saying. I swear, guys, like with MMA fighters, it's like they're always looking for a fight and always looking for trouble. That's what I'm saying with this whole thing. That's my whole overall opinion. I don't care. And here's the thing. He's trying to explain why he could beat Drew McIntyre up. Let me tell you this. That shit don't matter in a real fight, my friend. That shit don't matter. When it comes to a real fight, it's a battle of test and might. There is no such thing as cardio. There is no such thing as, oh, who got the better heart, or who's going to do this, or has the better strength, or has the farthest reach. You get an ass whooping, you get an ass whooping. That's what it is. Because a real fight is not like fucking UFC. I know so many people want to make it that way, but a real fight, that does not happen. A lot of times, you're not facing somebody who's going to be a proficient fighter, and they're going to do some stupid shit that might get them hurt, but at the same time, they're going to do it with the intention of hurting you. That's what I'm trying to say. So when he's calling him out and acting like a tough guy like this, you know what? That's why a tough guy ain't going to get his ass kicked. And I swear, if he did this to Haku, I swear Haku would have him by the death grip for some reason. I tell you that right now. Tony Khan reveals his inspiration to put wrestlers around the ring on AEW Dynamite. All right, let's see what Tony has to say. Oh, man. I'm going to say, before I go into reading this, or summarize what it's saying, Tony is a good guy. I like Tony Khan. He's a good guy. I think he's learned a lot from everyone in the business just by watching and being a fan, including Vince. I'm just saying. Tony has probably followed everybody and learned. All right, so this is what he said. On March 18th, they started doing audience with the wrestlers, and he says he went from Salt Lake and decided that they were going to go out in Jacksonville that weekend and watch a lot of their program, and watch a lot of wrestling and watch a lot of other stuff too. Trying to get a feel of what people were doing with restrictions without an audience, and the thing that really captivated him was having a really good friend who's a writer for Jimmy Fallon that works for the Tonight Show, and he watched Jimmy Fallon and was doing without an audience. He had his writers and his band in the studio, a small group of people, and their laughter, they exchanged a hand. So, for those of you guys who are wondering how Tony Khan got his idea of making superstars around the ring as the audience at the AEW shows, is basically he got his idea from the Tonight Show from a friend. And you know what? That's smart business right there. That's actually TV. You know what? The fact that he did that in that particular way, I'm surprised Vince hasn't tried that, because Vince is a guy with a TV background as well. So it surprises me that he did this and Vince didn't. That is just amazing right there. Being happy with the ratings. He says, we're on a good trajectory. Our numbers are up. To be up in 18 to 49 is the thing that, at the end of the day, that they're going to be judged by, and that's what they were going to be judged on. They're doing very well there, trending well. And to be up in the 18 to 34, like 19%, was doing cartwheels last night when they got the ratings. So he's excited. So that means they're meeting their goals. That's a good thing. That's what I'm happy with AEW, and in that sense, because they're actually keeping up with their numbers, making their goals, and on top of that, I mean, basically they're doing exactly what I applaud WWE for saying, which was run a marathon, not a sprint, and that's what they're doing. They're running the marathon. That's a good thing, guys. All right. Next, the Bella Twins. Oh my God, this is comedy to me. Bella Twins say Vince McMahon is only scary if you don't talk to him. And Brie goes like, he's definitely imitating. And Nikki goes, you do get scared going in. I don't know why. Brie goes like, sometimes you forget how to talk properly. But the thing you feel from Vince is that he appreciated when you came in with ideas or to pick his brain. Nicole and I we were the girls. Like sometimes you see us waiting outside the door and you have to wait for sometimes an hour, or you're like, oh God, I'm so embarrassed. But every time we sat down with Vince, it was always a gentle conversation. He definitely yelled at us a couple times at Gorilla. That was scary, but to actually sit down, and we always walked out there understanding the story, the bigger picture, or changing something in a way that's like, oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it should go this way. When you would talk to him, it's like you couldn't be disappointed on what was going to happen or what direction you were going because you knew it. Brie was like this and says, it was crazy because the minute you build that relationship with Vince, you actually realize how easy it is to go to him. Where I feel like if you're a talent who never goes to Vince, you're always going to look at him scary when he really is not. Alright, so reading this, I mean, you don't know if Vince is a different way with certain people, but in the Bella's case, Vince is an easy guy to talk to. From what I've gathered, Vince is easy to talk to. A lot of people bring up the fact that he gets pissed off so easily that you don't want to be around him because you don't want to hear the gaga. But what my opinion is, it's understandable because it's his product, and if you fuck up, of course he's gonna yell at you. Of course. If you do something stupid, of course he's gonna get on your case. You know, and if you're gonna do something that's gonna hurt the business, of course he's gonna get on your case. The one thing that shocks me is, from what they're saying, is he's easy to go to. As you guys know, Moxley and Jericho always said that they had to go through writers before they actually got to see Vince. My question is this, in that sense. Which side is telling truth? I know so many people are going to say the Bellas are not being truthful because they're fake in their eyes. But if you ask me, everybody has a different experience. I like how this guy who's on here in the discuss saying, Brian Clark farted. As far as I'm concerned with Vince, it's like, if you forget that you're doing business, I think like a lot of people who get upset with Vince as far as creative goes, it's like, all right, did you talk to him the way you probably should be talking to him, or are you talking to him with an ego? And that's a good question to be asking. With the Bellas, it just tells me that you know what, it's not so bad as most people would put it out there to be. You know, so who knows? We're gonna hear more Vince stories eventually. So, and Vince has a lot of stories, folks, a lot. If you don't know by now some of them, you should check out some of the Wrestling Shoot interviews. It's really fun shit with Vince. All right, and PCO, Paul Carl Roulette, reveals why he didn't stop wrestling. And basically, you can catch it out on Ring of Honor, but okay, all right, as far as I can say, he's going like this is only the beginning. I was going to actually go cover this, but seeing that it's on Ring of Honor's YouTube, I'm not going to show the video, guys. I'm just not. I don't want to get called out by Ring of Honor for this. So, all I can tell you is one of the main reasons why he he didn't stop wrestling as far as what I can read here, is that he says this is only the beginning. Only the beginning. So that's crazy. I think he's a much better wrestler now than he was back in '95 against Kevin Nash, though. I'm going to still say it that way. All right. In more comedy light, Otis reveals why his strategy for the Money in the Bank. His strategy. He reveals it. Which his strategy is, it's a roller coaster. Going to be into the Money in the Bank. Here, the strategy going in is that it is Mother's Day. My mama's birthday is tomorrow, so I'm going to give her a very good present. Say that her son is Money in the Bank winner. Hopefully this Sunday that happens. I can't think of a better present to give her other than a big card and a hug and kiss. So, don't you guys love Otis? Don't you love Otis? Hey, he's a mama's boy. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't hate Otis. I can't. But his whole idea of Money in the Bank in strategy is to win it for his mom. I mean, I can't wait to see what happens. I know some of it's pre-taped, but I'm going to just say this. I can't wait to see what happens. And as far as Otis, Otis is in this, but I think AJ's in this too. So I don't think he's coming home with the Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm sorry, guys, but he's a good guy. So there's a reason why fans love him. All right, Chelsea Green reacts over the big win over Shali yesterday. Which I know a lot of people are asking me, why did I say Shali and not Xia? Well, because I've studied Mandarin, and there's in Mandarin, the XI is not just, it's not pronounced Xia, it's actually pronounced Shah, as in the Shah dynasty. So I don't know if I don't know if that's her characters for her stage name, but Shali, she's a great talent overall, I believe. I think she's underrated, but we'll see what happens. But as far as Chelsea Green goes, two things happened earlier tonight. One, Chelsea Green showed exactly why she's the total package. Two, I showed that I'm a nice guy. Okay, this is Robert Stone, or Robbie E. And he lent a helping hand. And then on Twitter, she goes like this. Twitter out here like, Chelsea sucks. Chelsea's so overhyped. I don't like Chelsea. WWE, I'm out here like. And she goes, correct. And then here's the thing. She also comments how they cut out the best part. Oh, man. And this is all in character promo work from Chelsea Green and Robert Stone, or Robbie E. As where he goes on and calls her a total package. I wonder what Zack Ryder thinks, because the Zack Ryder wannabe is now making a move on his girl, apparently. And NXT says, Shali always impresses. And it's Beth Phoenix agrees. And Robbie E will go like this and say, well, tonight, sadly, she lost because Chelsea Green won. And then he goes like this. And then he goes up into what he said earlier, what I read earlier. But this is just hilarious. It's freaking hilarious, in my opinion. But Chelsea Green did impress last night. So did Shali. So you guys got to give it up for both women on that match, you know. It's a pretty good match overall. But as far as this, I think it's funny because Chelsea Green is dating Zack Ryder. Robert Stone, who is Robbie E from TNA, is Zack Ryder's wannabe and Chelsea Green's manager. So You know what? TNA fans, TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling fans, Impact Wrestling fans, this is your question of the day. How do you feel that Chelsea Green's dating Zack Ryder, and along with that, Zack Ryder's girlfriend's manager happens to be TNA's version of Zack Ryder, Robbie E, as her manager? What do you guys think? I'm thinking that's fucking hilarious because, quite honestly, Robbie E has been... People have made fun of Robbie E for being a Zack Ryder ripoff, and now he's managing Zack Ryder's girlfriend. And Zack Ryder's girlfriend used to wrestle for TNA. So, what are your guys' thoughts and opinions on that? I think it's fucking cool. It's funny at the same time. Oh, man. And then we're going to end our our recording here today with Bully Ray, who reacts to the low Raw ratings and also says WWE doesn't allow their talents to be talented. Alright, so this is what he says. On WWE's failure to build up their second-tier talent is being exposed now. During these times, you can't afford to be mild. That's why you're getting a mild rating. And I don't like to talk about the ratings. The ratings is not about, oh my god, they did a 1.6. This is more indicative of what WWE used to build everybody up. Now they only build certain people up. And now, all of a sudden, you have a situation you can't have those people on TV all the time, and your second-tier talent needs to be up there. Back in the day, if you were going back and watch all the time, Stone Cold, Rock, Triple H, Cactus, Taker, Kane, they were either gone or hurt off of TV, whatever. What did WWE do? They relied on their second-tier talent who was able to step up. They were just waiting in their battler's box, ready to get up there, and they were swinging all the way, swinging away. And the WWE never dipped. Now we're seeing a massive dip. And he goes on to say, on WWE not letting talent be talented. This is why when you only allow certain people to get over and you quote unquote hold others back and never let them flourish, when you don't let the talent be talented, this is what happens. I find myself watching a bunch of people. When I sit back and watch Zelina Vega and her crew, I know that Austin Theory is a talented wrestler. I know Angel Garza is a talented wrestler. I know Aleister Black is also a talented wrestler. I know they're all talented, but I know they are far more talented than what I'm getting on my TV. Let the freaking pigeons loose on this product. You have to do something different. You have to shake some stuff up. Now I say I have to. Now I say I have to. Vince doesn't have to do anything it's his bat. It's his ball. It's his game. And you have to play by his rules. And that's just what it is. I'm just talking about this rating. So, do I agree with Bill Bully Ray on this? Honestly, there's some talent I noticed that they're holding back, but I think it's all coming out of the frustration of looking for the next big star. I mean, they don't have a whole lot of guys that are the main event tier that Vince has been looking for, and I think Vince is too busy looking for a main event star, and he's not building all the other stars in the process. I feel like he's looking for a specific star, and it's not about body type. It's not about how athletic. It's about, I honestly believe he's looking for that guy who can overall entertain in every form and aspect. And I think for a lot of guys he has on the roster, he's not seeing it with some people. And there's people he believes that should, and then the rest of them, he's not like giving the attention they need. And that's what Bully's trying to say here too. He's only allowing a small number of stars instead of just looking for his top guy. He should probably start building those other guys so that the next top guy who comes along has people to work with. That's what I say. As far as the ratings dip, honestly, it's a dip, but it's not too much of a dip in my opinion, because I feel like the wrestling audience has gone down since the 90s a lot. And as far as ratings go, there's fans who are my age who have stopped watching. There's also the fans who feel like they should only watch one show, which there's a lot of fans out there who are doing that, and I feel like they need to stop because they are wrestling fans and they should just enjoy every product out there, even if they think it's crap. I mean, it's wrestling, for crying out loud, guys. But I feel like as far as the demographic dying down for wrestling, I think for every wrestling show out there, it's dying down pretty much, even with AEWs. I mean, I know there's a lot of fans who love AEW, and I know there's a lot of fans that love Impact Wrestling, and there's a lot of fans of New Japan, but I feel like everyone is kind of pulling away from every brand of wrestling out there, and just they're trying to find their own, basically, and I feel like that's what kills the ratings for all shows. Because back when I was a kid watching both WWF and WCW, a lot of us, let's be honest, even if you were just a fan of WCW and you hated WWE, you were flipping the channels every fucking week. You were flipping back and forth just to watch Raw. Watch a little bit of Raw. Watch a little bit of Nitro. Watch a little bit of Thunder. Watch a little bit of SmackDown. Watch a little bit of Saturday Night Main Event, baby. You know, and I feel like there's a lot of wrestling fans that are not like that anymore. I think there's a lot of fans out there who just want to be known for liking this particular group of wrestling. I try to catch as much as I can when I can. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I mean, when I look at the crowds, there's people in the crowds or people online who will talk, and they're telling me, well, this was crap, well, that's crap, or this show's the only good show out there, and this show's the only good show out there, and this show's the shittiest show out there. You know, I mean, the fans today, it's not the same wrestling community that it was back in the early 2000s. It's not the same group of community of fans back from the 90s. You know, it really isn't the same. I had a friend who loves professional wrestling just as much as I do at some points, but he likes MMA a lot more. And he feels like that wrestling might be on its last legs. I mean, it could be only a matter of time that a lot of the other wrestling promotions will go away, and WWE will eventually be the last ones, and they are going to be going away, and nobody's not going to really pay attention to it. That's what he feels like as far as that goes. And as far as I'm concerned, there is a good trend of that happening, a good possibility of that trend happening. As far as fans go, I mean, let's put it this way. You want my honest opinion, guys? I feel like New Japan will always be there because New Japan always honors Japan, and Japanese fans like Japanese. I mean, the Japanese fans love wrestling, so I don't think it will ever die, but in the United States it probably will. And there's a lot of people who are in the legends too, like Jim Cornette, who said wrestling has died. What you got is sports entertainment, and then you also get this lazy shit going on, kind of crap. So, yeah, it is what it is, and I think a lot of the thing with Vince too is the frustration of just like keeping up anymore. I don't think Vince is keeping up as much as he used to, because back when he was like in the 90s and when he was in his 50s or 40s or 60s. The dude was on it like nobody else. Sharp as a tack. Currently, he's not as good, and I think he's also lost sight of the bigger thing, kind of deal. You know, I feel like Vince. I feel as far as Vince McMahon goes, guys, he's not the same Vince McMahon that I fell in love with back when I was a kid watching his programming. You know, it's not the same Vince, and it's in some senses it's sad, but I think that means in order for him, and this is what I believe, the only way for him to go back is if he's in control of only one of the shows. He can be in control of the company. That's fine. But I think he should have the final say-so on one show. Because then he can focus on the entire roster on that show. And then give Stephanie or Triple H or Shane give him the other show. Like, this is how I would say. Triple H already has NXT, right? Where he's making decisions for NXT. Vince should, in my opinion, Vince should be making the final decisions and decisions for Monday Night Raw alone. And then he should choose Stephanie or Shane or Hunter to take over SmackDown for him and, you know, make the final decisions there. I think it'd be a better show. And then it's a different show when you watch each brand. I mean, that's why NXT sticks out like a sore thumb compared to Raw and SmackDown right now, because it's not Vince making the final decision. If it's Vince making, and in the way I look at it too, Vince makes the final decision for both shows. So I'm thinking he's only looking at his main eventers because that's what he's worried about the most of he's getting over. And it's like he should be only focusing on one show. Like he should be focusing on one show, one brand, one roster, not two, not even three for that matter, because that just spreads him out too thin, and I don't know if he can handle doing that anymore. He did that all through the early 2000s, guys. I think he's got to the point where he's slowed down where he should only be working one roster. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Other than that, I hope you guys like the video. I hope you guys subscribe. Leave a comment, and I'm going to say thank you for watching. Have a good day, and God bless. Take care. Love y'all.